next guest is someone who has been on my broadcast in the past, but never appeared on That Kevin Show since we have changed the look around here. And I'm very, very excited to welcome her back. She's a talented singer and songwriter with a story that I think a lot of people can relate to, and she tries to be relatable in what she does. You've already heard from her once tonight with The Candy Store. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Ruthie Kraft. Hello, Ruthie.
Hi, how's it going? Good to see you again.
And you as well. And you're joining us from Austin tonight. We're so glad to be able to have you. I was reviewing your biography and kind of going back through your story, and I think I learned some stuff that I didn't even know about the first time that we spoke. But you're this time a year ago, Lindsay L. sat in your chair, and as a burgeoning country music star from Canada who hosts Canada's Got Talent, she kind of let us in on, kind of the insider track of what the country music scene's about. You're very much an independent artist who came at this from a very independent path. Tell my people a little bit about how you got into music.
Yeah, that's always a fun question because it's not a straight line. It's a lot of this and it's a lot of doubling back and twists and turns. But I mean, I've always loved singing around the house and everything. I would sing with my sisters. We'd make up musicals and stuff. And then really fell in love with singing when I heard Adele for the first time when I was about 13. And then after some very interesting life twists and turns, some detours, you might say, I eventually, in about 2018, I was like, we're going to do it. We're going to make it happen. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm not looking back. And it's been very, it's been an adventure since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I quit my job as a dental assistant a little over a year ago. And that was like the final nail in the coffin. And I said, this is the last time I'm quitting a job. I'm not going back. This is what I do now.
Well, and I think if you talk to a lot of people that become quite good at what they do, at some point there is that reality that you have to go all in on it. But for someone who wasn't pursuing a record label or kind of the traditional path, that had to be scary for you.
Super scary. Yeah. And to be honest with you, there are a lot of days I still don't really know what I'm doing. I'm very much learning on the job and enjoying it. But it's been really, really scary because you can't just go to college, go through courses, get a degree, and then go and look for a job with that resume. And everybody's journey is different. So there was no timeline. There was no blueprint for how I was supposed to do this. It's been really rewarding. It's been a great learning process. It still is, and it will continue to be.
I've worked with people on major labels and a lot of independent artists over the years. And the one thing that kind of cuts through all of them is the deep love for the hook, the lyric, the beat, if you will. What is it about music that speaks to you? And what types of music do you feel most spoken to through?
That's a great question. What is it about music? There's a sense you get when expressing yourself through music that I personally haven't found its equal. And I'm a very expressive person naturally, but there's something when I sing and when I really started to learn and get, pretty decent at it, and something runs through you from the inside out, from the outside in. And you can see it on the faces of people in the crowd, and they're feeling it too. And you don't really know what it is, but you all know it's the same thing. We're all feeling the same thing. But it's indescribable. It's spiritual, I think. Like, I don't really know how else to describe it, but like the closest thing I've felt to that is my connection to God.
Something that God made you to do. He wired you specifically for it.
Yeah.
RuthieKraft.com, by the way, is where you go to see everything about Ruthie. Music helped you overcome Tourette's. Take us down that story.
Yeah. So I still do have Tourette's. I'm a little bit better at hiding it these days. But I was diagnosed when I was 9 years old, and it was very, very challenging for me. I was already not a super popular kid, and I had a hard time relating to other kids. I don't really know why, but I was diagnosed with that, and then I was like, "Oh, cool, this sucks," and it was difficult. I was plagued by tics all the time, and I couldn't focus, and I couldn't sit still, and when I sang, I remember driving in the car. My biggest sister was driving, and all 5 of us kids were in the car going to the movies or something. And I was in the back of the car singing along to some country song. And I go, guys, I don't have tics when I sing. And it was like that realization that it was the only thing that just shut it off like a switch. When I sing, I cannot have tics. My Tourette's doesn't exist. And after that, I was like, let's go. It was my therapy, and I just sang all the time, much to my family's chagrin because it got annoying.
Well, it's either that or have the tics. I'd encourage the singing as well. In fact, my 8-year-old loves to sing, so I want her to sing as much as she possibly can.
Oh, cool.
So you write a lot in your music about the tough things that you've been through, and you're very, very young to have lived as much of life as you have. Talk to me about the inspiration for you as a writer. What is it? Is it all as it comes to you, or is there a discipline and a practice to it that you've learned to apply to the process?
Yes, both. In the early stages of writing, you're dependent very much on inspiration and that muse to show up whenever it wants to. And eventually you get to a point where you realize, I'm going to run out of material if I don't just sit down and discipline myself. So I write a song every week now. I'm part of a songwriting group. We hold each other accountable. Every week I write at least one song. They give me a prompt and I write about that.
Well, we're going to experience 19 when we come back from this next break. But Ruthie Kraft, welcome to the New Music Spotlight. Both of your songs, because they appear this week, will be eligible for Song of the Year at the end of this calendar year. So thank you for being here, and thanks for being part of what we're doing.
Thank you so much for having me back.
You got it. Kevin McCullough coming right back from Times Square.
Ready or not, we'll be right back.